G'day, I'm Pete Techman Coleman here at ISE 2026 in Barcelona, and I'm here with Ryan Willden from Inogeni, and he's going to take me on a tour and show me all the new products that they've got on display. So let's go over and have a look.
Sounds great.
So Ryan, Inogeni has been the market leader in HDMI to USB for many, many years. There's a history of USB, HDMI,
Absolutely.
camera technology that you've brought all that together over the years. What have we got here? What are we looking
absolutely.
at?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly like you said. It's really an evolution of our product.
Yep.
You know, the Shure to You, for instance, this is really our multi-camera kind of environment where we talk about the different multi-camera solutions that we offer.
Yep.
And the Shure to You is really one of the originals for us. Really, that is a great product because it allows you to mix signals together on screen.
Yes.
So that's really unique because you think of environments where maybe you want to, put two different signals together, and you want to show two different things on screen, two different cameras, or a camera and content. So the Shure to You allows people to do that.
And not just mixing, but also switching as well.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah, exactly. And it's got some really great transitions in terms of, you can get a full picture one or full picture two, picture in picture, side by side. So you got a lot of options to really make it a...
So I don't need a whole big expensive process. I can put one of these in and then I'm sure I can control that remotely, right?
Exactly.
Or you could control it locally if need be.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people in our industry are familiar with OBS, the software.
Yes.
It's kind of like OBS in a box, but very simplified version.
Nice.
But it's it's just great flexibility to be able to add multi-camera setup to a conference room.
Okay.
So, and then our Cam 300 is kind of the really our biggest switcher in terms of the number of I/O.
Yes.
So, allows you to connect up to two USB devices and two HDMI devices, and combine those together into an environment where you may have some legacy cameras that are USB, but also HDMI, and you want to bring those together to provide for multi-camera setup in a conference room or classroom.
Got it. Okay.
So, Cam 230, it's a little bit newer switcher for us. I really like this, especially for integrators. One of the things that's unique about the Cam 230 is that it has a PoE port, so you can connect this to a switch.
Yes.
No, no power supply, so you just connect that to PoE. It is our USB 3.0 switcher device that supports USB 3.
Yep.
A lot of devices are backwards compatible to 2, but some people want to have that capability, so that's a nice feature. But really at a great price point as well. And one thing I'll mention is that all of these solutions also are obviously designed to connect to a Microsoft Teams or Zoom room, but also have simultaneous HDMI outputs for recording purposes or other applications where you may need HDMI as your medium instead of USB. So great technology in all of those. And then, we've got a brand new product that we're showing here at the show, which is our IP to USB. This one I'm really excited about. I think there's so many use cases for the product like this. We've had a lot of buzz and a lot of interest, and really excited about this one.
I know you're releasing a number of new products at the show this year, but this is one that I've been asking for years. You've come through and you've delivered it. To be able to convert NDI, for example, so I've got a PTZ camera with NDI built into it. I don't want to buy a transmitter or an encoder and then have to decode it. I already have a transportation protocol that's already built into the camera. I want to use that.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't want another box at the camera. This solves all those problems.
It does, yeah.
This is amazing. Tell me more.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, for all the reasons that you mentioned. And one of the things that's new and unique about this specific product is that it also integrates Dante audio.
Okay.
So 2x2 Dante channel.
Yes.
So you're able to basically connect this up if you've got network loudspeakers.
Yes.
Now you don't need an amplifier anymore.
Right.
If you've got microphones in a room, you want to bring in the IntelliMix from a Shure microphone, and not have to use a DSP. You can bring that IntelliMix signal directly into the IP to USB, combine that together with your video cameras, so you've just got a really clean, simple conference room solution in a small, very small package.
Yeah, no, this is a real game changer. I know that I'll be specifying it in pretty much every one of our projects.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So that's new. What else is new?
Yeah, one of the things that we're showing here at the show is our new CamTrack solution.
Okay.
So multi-camera with automatic tracking, which is really exciting. It's a really a unique solution on the market, and we can go check that out if you like. Yeah, let's go take a look.
All right. We just spoke about the IP to USB, which is great for converting NDI cameras, for example, into USB, because obviously we have a lot of PCs that are codecs. We have all-in-one bars that require USB as an input. So that's a really great box to solve that problem. How is that different to the CamTrack?
Yeah, so IP-to-USB and CamTrack really work well together. It's, you know, they're kind of Batman and Robin, so to speak.
Right.
So, you know, the IP-to-USB is really the vehicle that is going to allow you to get those signals into the codec.
Yep.
But you really need something to kind of interact with that IP-to-USB to tell it which input, which camera to select.
Sure.
So without that, it's a great switching device, but it really needs something to switch between the different signals and different cameras so that you get that really immersive experience in a conference room application.
Right. So I'm guessing with the IP-to-USB, do I need one of those per camera?
No. So what's great about the IP-to-USB is that you can connect up to 12 cameras, especially with CamTrack, where you can basically bring in IP cameras.
Yes.
And it really gives you a lot of flexibility. So. Right. You know, like if you think about divisible spaces, for instance, you know, there's a lot of cameras in those spaces, and you could tie those into a third-party control system where you can, you know, trigger an air wall and have it combine those cameras together.
Yep.
Or utilizing our CamTrack, you can also use that to switch between different cameras, so you get the best camera view in the room.
Got it. Okay, so the CamTrack, how does that actually work? How does it actually track who's speaking in the room? Yeah,
great question. Right now we work with Shure microphones.
Okay.
So, you know, typically in a conference room, you're going to have an in-ceiling microphone. That's like an MXA 920 or an MXA 910. And in that environment, you would have those microphones installed, and you would have the ability to pull in that microphone data. So CamTrack connects directly to the microphone, and we pull in the API information from the microphones to determine where the active speaker is in the room.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're utilizing those XYZ coordinates.
Got it.
And with Shure and their voice activity detection, it really is a unique solution, because now we can actually listen for the sound of human voices.
Right.
So we're not just going to capture people shuffling papers or opening and closing a door. We're really looking for actual voices that are speaking and engaged in that meeting.
So you're working with Shure at the moment, but I'm sure you're probably going to be working with other manufacturers over time.
Absolutely.
And partner with everybody. So I can have multiple cameras, up to 8 for the standard box?
Yeah, up to 8, and then up to 12 on the Pro version. Yeah.
And I can use multiple microphones in the room as well, like
Correct.
to be able. So I'm not stuck. I'm not limited to just having one sort of beamforming microphone. I could have multiples,
exactly.
like a big room, right? I need to mic the whole room up.
Yeah, and some rooms are going to be unique. You know, there are some rooms and applications where, you know, for higher education, for instance, you know, a lot of those have a zone across the front of the room where the professor is using a whiteboard,
up and down,
and you want to be able to utilize a camera that maybe has built-in auto framing or auto tracking.
Yes.
So that would be a great scenario for that, because now you can take that data from the microphones and say, hey, there's a professor in that area speaking, and you can trigger the cameras to actually operate as auto-framing cameras and track them as they're walking back and forth across the room.
So are there specific cameras or camera manufacturers that you work with?
Yeah, you know, that's one thing that's unique about CamTrack, is that we're completely camera agnostic.
Wow.
You know, we work with everything. So whether it's PTZ Optics or Canon, Panasonic, Sony, any of those manufacturers we work with. There are some unique protocols that are out there, specifically with the Canon cameras. So we do have a partnership with them. And we've got a lot of things in the roadmap, because Canon's protocol really allows us to do some really unique things. So I think that's going to be an exciting thing to see where those take us. But yeah, I mean, we can really control anybody's cameras. So if you've got a space where a customer has existing cameras, they don't want to go in and spend a lot of money to replace those, then we've got a great solution for that. Exactly.
Absolutely. So speaking of control, do I need a third-party control system like a Crestron processor or something in there to do all the smarts?
No, that's what's great with CamTrack, is that CamTrack does all of the intelligence for you. So it integrates automatically with those systems, so you really don't need third-party control. Everything operates independently with CamTrack. And it's such a small appliance, it's such an easy device to put in there.
How small this is.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's heavy. You know, it's quality
heavy.
as well.
Exactly. So, I mean, we can do a quick demo.
Absolutely.
But, you know, like I mentioned, typically in a conference room, we would utilize this with an MXA 920, for instance.
The ceiling beam.
You know, given the environment here where there's a lot of ambient noise.
And a very high ceiling.
Exactly, high ceiling. It's a little tricky. So what we're using today is MXW wireless microphones. But what we can do is kind of simulate what would happen if you and I were speaking in a room. So
this is great to know that these are compatible as well, because once again, you might have a boardroom where they actually want to deploy a whole series of these, so you're not limited limited to ceiling microphones.
Correct, yeah, delegate situations.
Yes.
If you've got a city council room, council chambers, those kinds of
100%.
scenarios are fantastic for CamTrack.
All right, so how does it work? What do we got?
Basically what we've got here, we've got 3 cameras, 3 Canon cameras around us. There's 2 on each side and 1 in the center. The center camera is kind of designed to be our overall like wide view shot.
Yes.
And then the 2 cameras on the outside are presets for these 2 microphones that we've selected.
So this is like the home shot,
It's
right?
a home shot,
okay.
exactly. Normally in a conference room, this is going to be a lot more dynamic because you're going to have cameras and you'll have the ability to have those zoom in and capture multiple presets in a room. But we're kind of oversimplifying this for purposes of demonstration. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate my microphone. When I push the button, you'll see that the microphone across from me, behind you, is going to activate. And that camera will switch, and you'll see the little tally light up there, so it indicates that microphone, or that camera rather, is active. When I release that, it will eventually go back to the wide shot, or if you press the button on your microphone, it'll trigger the camera behind me.
So if I start talking now, I press the button, and there it goes. It switches over. So that was probably 2.5, 3 seconds. It's pretty quick. Is that time programmable?
It is. 2.5 seconds is the lowest. And the reason that we do that is we want smooth transitions. We've got to give cameras the time to pan and tilt.
And it's just gone back without any intervention. No one pressed any buttons. We just, obviously these are pressed to talk. So we start talking. It's not picking up a feed, and then it says after, I think this might be programmed, it seems like 8 seconds or so.
To go back to a main shot.
Go back to the main shot.
Exactly. So that's really the intent is, you know, we want the conference room environment and these classrooms and things like that to be kind of a broadcast environment where you would have someone that may be operating a camera, but we don't have camera operators. So we're really relying on CamTrack to do all of that automation for us and provide that really engaging conference room environment like broadcast, but without all the broadcast technology.
And not only the technology, the people.
Not
just the technology, it's the people,
those resources.
The resources, someone sitting there looking at a screen and selecting the right shot, right? This is just doing it automatically. I love this product. This is amazing. This really, really is, because we've seen a number of other solutions on the market. However, they're very proprietary, right? You know what I mean? Like they're a walled garden. This breaks those walls. It knocks those walls down by being able to plug in your favorite camera, PTZ camera, and then eventually your favorite microphone. But, you know, obviously, especially in the US, Shure, around the world, you know, Shure microphones
big leader.
Very popular. And I love the fact that you can also use their wireless versions as well, right? So ultimate flexibility. And that's what people want these days. They want flexibility, but they also want something that just works. And you know what? Something that's cost effective.
Affordable. That's a huge thing. You know, we talk to a lot of integrators, and you know, we ask them, you know, how often do you guys quote these large camera tracking solutions? And they say, well, how often do we quote them, or how often do we sell them? And that's really what it comes down to, is cost. And that's really where CamTrack shines, is that it's at a great price point to give you that same technology in smaller spaces without that big price tag. So.
And quite often, you also want a product that works as well, right?
It's got to be reliable.
That's the biggest thing.
You've got to rely on it, and it's got to be predictable so that 100%. You know how it's going to predict.
Love it. So. This is great. I said I'm super excited about both of these products, the IP to USB, IP to USB converter for the cameras, and then also the CamTrack. These are, these are going to find a way into my specifications, into my projects, because our clients have a real need for this, and you're really plugging that gap. You're coming up with solutions that are needed out in the marketplace. So well done.
Thank you. We're very excited.
We love that you guys have been able to bring this to market. For more information, obviously if people are at ISE, they can come down to your stand here in, where are we, Hall 2?
Hall 2, 2W640. And then also you can visit us at Inogeni.com, and there's lots of information about CamTrack and IP to USB on the website.
Love it. And these are both available now, are they?
Yes, IP to USB starts shipping in 2 weeks. So after you arrive home from ISE, feel free to place an order. And CamTrack is shipping now, and we're excited to get these into people's hands.
I love it. I love it, and you're going to love it too. If you're at ISE, come down, see Ryan and the team at Inogeni Hall 2, or if you can't make it to ISE, make sure that you head to Inogeni.com.
Yes.
Inogeni.com.
Great. Thanks,
All right,
Pete.
thanks, Ryan.
Appreciate it.